Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing extremely well and enjoying your week so far. I guess it's towards the end, nearly the weekend. Just wanted to drop in, just chat quickly about a topic that I have covered this week in my larger or more extensive live. But I wanted to really just focus in on the concept of cradle to cradle, which is really one of the major drivers for the emergence of a circular economy concept. And so I love this idea, cradle to cradle. I mean, even in my time of studying engineering, it was always, cradle to grave, cradle to grave. It was what we always heard, and it was quite simply that something is removed from earth, it's used in a production process, it's then used by the end user, disposed of or reused for a little while, and then disposed of until it seemingly has no life left in it. And so that's why it's then put into the grave or the landfill, so to speak. And so it's cradle to grave. It's always been that way. And so this idea of cradle to cradle is really fascinating as it started to emerge. It's this idea that garbage is an eternal resource. And when it's done right, when there is a new way of designing products in the first place itself for longer lifespans, and they've not been, in some sense, engineered for failure, which is really what we see in the market, right? We often see that our phones, for example, have a typical lifespan of a few years, and then they start to glitch and they start to go funny. Or we're told, at least by the manufacturers, oh, you need to replace your phone. It's been 2 years. And that's because the design of the product itself has been it's been done in a way, it's leaning on principles of continued extraction and growth. But we know that that doesn't really align to the natural resources that we have available to us. It's something that we didn't fully comprehend before, but we know now that as we continue to kind of chip away at our natural biodiversity, there is a breakdown in so many ecological systems, and it starts to then impact so many areas of human existence. It impacts health, it impacts access to education and shelter and social entertainment and work, and the money that we are able to make as individuals for our families. So it actually impacts essentially everything, which is why sustainability, circular economy, all of these systems of thinking, they don't sit separate to a business. They're not a separate strategy, a nice to have policy. It is a way of thinking, a way of, when they talk about diets, for example, diets sort of are an add value. They're a separate thing to our existence. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about a way of life now. We're choosing to embody better health, better living, better education, better economies, everything. And that's what sustainability gives us. Sustainable thinking gives us this avenue of being better and embedding this new way of living into our lives. And so, yeah, thanks, Sam. I appreciate you being here as well. So, yeah, say hello if you are joining me live. But, this is me anyways, diverging a little bit. I can sort of talk to that idea for too long. But I really just wanted to touch on the cradle to cradle idea, which is, as I said, an idea of garbage not really being garbage, but ultimately an eternal resource. And when we think of these things in a cyclical way, we close the loop. And so it's no longer linear. It's a closed loop system. And essentially there are two key cycles in this. There's the biological cycle, really around nature and natural biodiversity, and then the technological cycle or the technology cycle that's around production systems and manufacturing. And so how can we then bring them together is really what circular allows us to do. But as this critical idea is just extracted upon nature extracted from nature, because nature shows us that we can actually keep things in eternal cycles and reuse them and repurpose them and upcycle them and so on. And so there's this beautiful hierarchy already embedded into nature, which we can start to now look at and apply these systems into our technical cycles, into our day-to-day operations that we have built this economy on, and really just shift the economy and maintain the idea of, well, not the idea, but maintain the value of a not growing economy, because that's not the word we want to stick with, but a diversified, distributive, regenerative economy, an economy that is about supporting nature and its ability to thrive ongoingly for the future generations, and distribute the wealth within the economy so that everybody has access and that everybody has equity, including the animals, including the trees, including the plants. So yes, that's really what it's about, and I really love this concept. So look it up if you're interested in learning a little bit more. And if you have any thoughts, of course, feel free to share. I always enjoy that. I do hope you have an incredible weekend. You take care of yourselves, and I look forward to chatting with you in the new week. Bye, everybody.